Welcome to the video for the lesson 2.8, 2-8 homework applications for the Math 050 class. Had a lot of issues with this one, and we didn't have time to discuss it in class, so I thought I'd do a video. The first problem, basically two problems in the applications. First one talks about a phone card and how much time is remaining, how many minutes. Actually, how much value is remaining on the phone card. So it's a $20 phone card, and they actually tell us that for every minute you lose 7 cents. 7 cents. Each minute costs 7 cents. We can see that in the table. If they hadn't told us, we could see that because from 0 to 10 minutes, it drops by 70 cents. $20 minus $19.30 is 70 cents. So for each one of those minutes, it's 7 cents. Question 1 says the value remaining on the card, so the right-hand column in the table, can be described by the formula. So we have to write a formula where x is the independent variable and represents the number of minutes used. So if we look at the formula, formulas tell us how to calculate. So to calculate the value remaining, we start off with our $20. And then we subtract 0.07 cents. But we do that for every minute. So if we talk 1 minute, we subtract 0.07. If we talk 10 minutes, we subtract 0.07 10 times. Whatever the number of minutes is, whatever x is, we subtract that many 0.07s. So we multiply 0.07 times x, and we subtract it from 20. So when we write a formula with our variable, we put the number next to the variable. It means multiply. So this formula says multiply 0.07 times x, subtract that answer from 20. The next two questions are pretty straightforward. Nobody really had problems. How much value remains after 50 minutes of talk time? So after 50 minutes, we can see right in the table, we could use our formula, 50 times 0.07, subtract it from 20. But our table has already done that for us. So we can just say, after 50 minutes, I'm not going to write that because my touch screen doesn't work very well, but you should write after 50 minutes, $16.50 remains on the card. So where's 16.50? Question 13 asks a little bit different question, but we can still get it from the table. How many minutes can the user talk until the value remaining is down to $13? So we go to the table, and at $13 for value remaining, we have talked 100 minutes. So you would write, after 100 minutes, the value remaining is $13. But I'm just going to write 100 minutes. Okay. Describe the value remaining. Describe when the value remaining will be more than $13. Question 4 and question 5 is really where we had some issues. A lot of people said at 90 minutes, the value remaining will be more than $13. And that's true. But we really want to describe when. And you'll notice at 80 minutes, it's more than $13. At 70 minutes, it's more than $13. And if we think about it, at 99 minutes, it's going to be $13.07. So at 99 minutes, it's going to be more than $13. The way we would describe those numbers is to say less than 100 minutes. And I'm not going to write out the full description. You should. You would say the value remaining will be more than $13 when the number of minutes is less than 100. Okay? A lot of people got that, but then had problems with number 5. A lot of people had trouble with both. Number 5 says describe when the value remaining will be less than $15.10. So I look at my table, $15.10. At 80 minutes, it's less than. At 90 minutes, it's less than. At 100 minutes, it's less than. So if I look at those numbers, they're all greater than 70. A lot of people said less than 70. They didn't think the problem through, really. I think if you think it through, you'll see that if you want the value remaining to be less than $15.10, you have to talk more. In order to get the value remaining to go down, you have to talk longer. So you would say the value remaining will be less than $15.10 when the number of minutes have talked is greater than 70. Second collection of problems, problems 6 through 10, questions 6 through 10, are based on another story. Now we have two tables. The two tables below display the charges for two taxi services based on the number of miles driven. This is where we actually have to choose between two things. We're using the math to make a decision. Yellowish Taxi has an initial charge of $2.30 and 15 cents for each quarter mile. Most people didn't take that into account. Callaway Cab has an initial charge of $2, which is less than the $2.30, but they charge more per mile, and actually more per quarter mile, once again. First of all, they want us to write a formula, and that's really the most important thing that you can learn. One of the biggest problems people have in math is writing formulas. You can't really use the math until you've written a formula. Okay? So the cost of a ride with Yellowish Taxi. Well, if I think about how I would calculate it, I would start with my $2.30. Okay? That's a decimal point. My stylus doesn't make points very well. They end up being lines. 2.30. For each quarter mile, I'm going to add 0.15, but m is not the number of quarter miles, it's the number of miles. So for a mile, I'm going to add 4 0.15s. For each quarter mile, I add 4. So for 1 mile, I'm actually going to add 0.6 0 or 60 cents. So that tells me the formula. I take my miles, I multiply it by 0.6, and then I add it to 2.3. Callaway Cab, same idea. You start with your $2. You add 0.2 for each quarter mile, but m is the number of miles. So I take 0 times 4, and I find that I pay 0.80 cents per mile. So I have 0.80 m. Question 8, use your answers to questions 6 and 7 to fill in the table, and you can do that. It's a good exercise. So for your miles being 0.0, you would take 0.0 times 0.6. The formula says multiply 0.06 times the number of miles. 0 times 0.6 is 0. You add $2.30. For 0 miles, charge is just the initial fee. If you multiply 0.5 times 0.6, you do that on your calculator, or you can say 0.5 is like a half. Half of 0.6 is 0.3. You add 0.3 to 2.3, you get 2.60. And you can continue that way. 1 times 0.6 is 0.6. Add that to 2.3, you get 2.9. A lot of people will notice, though, you're just adding 30 cents every time because you're going up by a half a mile. So add 0.3, 3.20, 3.50, because I add another 0.3. Add 0.3, I get 3.80, and then 4.10. Same thing with Callaway Cab. When M is 0, my 0.8 goes away. I just have 2.00. I add, in this case, 0.4, because I'm going up by a half a mile. 20 cents for each quarter mile. That means 40 cents for each half mile. 2.40. Add another 0.4, 2.80, 3.20, 3.60, 4.00, and 4.4. So, so we filled in the tables, and that's our answer to question 8. Question 9, when would the two cabs cost the same? And that's really what we're doing the math here for, is to see where they cost the same. And your answer, you would write, the two cabs companies cost the same when you travel 1.5 miles. We can see that in the table because they're both 3.2. Okay. Then question 10 says, when would you use Yellowish Taxi? When would you use Callaway Cab? A lot of people said you would use Callaway Cab for short distances because they have a smaller upfront fee. You would use Yellowish Taxi for long distances because they have a smaller per mileage fee. And I gave credit for that in the homework because the question doesn't really ask you to be more specific than that. But what we were really hoping you would do is say that if you're traveling less than 1.5 miles, you would use Callaway Cab. It's a little bit more specific. It's not only a short distance. We know how short a distance. And if you're going greater than 1.5 miles, you would use Yellowish Taxi. Okay, and there again, we can see that in the table just by looking at the numbers. If we go greater than 1.5 miles, we see that 350 is less than 360, 380 is less than $4. Greater than 1.5 miles, Yellowish Taxi costs less. At 1.5 miles, they're the same. And less than 1.5 miles, Callaway Cab is $280. Yellowish Taxi is $290. 0.5 miles, it's $240. And Yellowish Taxi is $260. So we can use the table to actually say exactly where the point is where Callaway cab is cheaper. Okay. If you have any questions, email me. I won't be on campus Monday. I won't be at school again until our test on Tuesday. But if you email me, I will try to answer your questions. And good luck studying for the test. Thank you.